Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika, and this is American Horror Stories, y'all. This is season 2, episode 5. And we getting some Bloody Mary, okay? The name of this episode is Bloody Mary. And so I'm like, okay, we giving a little reminiscence. We going back into time, making me think about my childhood. This was a game that a lot of my friends was playing. And notice I said my friends, honey, because I was never down with it, all right? And we know that there has been other movies and shows that have kind of incorporated, this into their storyline, right? Candyman is kind of reminiscence of it. But, of course, we switch it. We change the origin story. We get a man and we say his name 5 times. So, Bloody Mary kind of set the trend, right? And so I'm like, okay, where we going to go with this? What Bloody Mary going to be doing here? What is going to be happening? But, honey, I don't know if it was giving me what it was supposed to give, all right? As we get into the review, we will get more into that. But this was kind of giving me, and I can't even just say this episode. I have to kind of say like the whole American horror story or story series always kind of gives me or reminds me of that commercial. And I can't even remember right now. I think it's a Geico commercial where you see the old man with the fishing outfit on and he has the fishing rod, and at the end of the line there's $1, and the dollar is always like within a reach of the girl, but she can't seem to get it, and it's like, oops, almost got it, you was almost there, ooh, so close. That is what it be giving me at times, y'all. I'll be liking where it's going. I'll be liking some parts of it. I even be saying, oh, this could have been like, just a whole season on this particular subject. But, we will get into all of that at the end of the video. I will go into that in a little bit more detail. Of course, you guys tell me your opinions, all right? Just let's discuss, put it in the comments. But we're going to go ahead and get into this review. So we started out this episode, with this girl. She's walking up to the mirror. She has this candle. It says you light a candle in a dark room. Then you say her name 3 times, all right? Bloody Mary. Okay, and when Bloody Mary appears, she can see the depths of your soul, right? And so, of course, the girl starts to say Bloody Mary, and they tell you, and if you see her or if she sees you, and all of a sudden the lights go out and we see these hands coming out the mirror. And so we then transition and see these 4 friends talking, right? They are basically Bianca, Elise, Maggie, and Lena. Now, 2 of them are sisters, which is, if I'm not mistaken, was Bianca and Elise. And the other 2 are friends of Elise, where Bianca is essentially like that third wheel, or that little sister that you just got to bring with you everywhere you go. She got to tag along. I can relate, okay, because I used to have to bring my little sister with me. And, they putting on makeup in the mirror, whatever the case may be, and just talking, right, and telling about, Bloody Mary or whatever. And they saying that she can kind of like grant your fortune, see your future, and all this different kind of stuff if she doesn't, kill you first. And they like, correct, no thank you, all right? And then they like, listen, one girl's talking about maybe Bloody Mary could get me, River back or whatever, right? I guess that is her ex-boyfriend. And so one of the other girls was like, listen, I don't think he'll be into a girl with her eyes scratched out. My girl said, listen, honey, I'll wear some sunglasses. I said, no, she didn't, okay? So she was like, guys don't really look at my face anyways. I said, okay. So, she talking about, asking her like, God, is there anything you wouldn't do for a boy? And she was like, don't be so judgy. River has been my best friend since 2nd grade, right? And we belong together, in her Mariah Carey voice. And so, the other girl, which I think was Elise, starts to say, oh no, I'm sorry, it was Maggie, as a matter of fact. She starts to say that new guy from Columbus, you know who I'm talking about, I would do anything for him. And then Bianca is saying, oh no, well, the guy in my trade class, and then somebody else says, no, he was a hoe, okay? He was caught finger banging in the hallway with Susie Jameson in the janitor's closet, I should say. And so, they taking these shots and stuff like that, and they basically like, come on, are we gonna do this, or not? all right? And they're saying that, you know, Bloody Mary can help Bianca find a boyfriend. So now we want Bloody Mary to come to find boyfriends. Like, I don't remember Bloody Mary doing that. That wasn't the same Bloody Mary we had. Maybe over the generations, she has changed. And so, you know, Miss Bianca is saying, y'all can't talk about anything real, huh? Can you? So now she's coming off as the party pooper. You know, Maggie talking about some Bloody Mary is real, all right? And she's out here granting wishes. And so they start to light up these candles. I don't remember lighting candles being a part of it either, honey. You just turned off that light and was in the dark and you was at the mirror. But this is their version of it, right? And they all are starting to say it, but Miss Bianca's in the back with her arms folded, and she ain't really down for this. She gets scared, she get mad, she turn the light on, and they like, oh, come on, Bianca, really? You such a damn baby. And she's telling them it's not funny, and she walks out. And so at this point, her sister, Miss Elise, go ahead after her. You know, she's telling the girls, I'm sorry, hold on y'all for a minute. And she goes out there and is like, you know, why you gotta always be a party pooper? You always gotta ruin it all. You know, you don't have no friends of your own. You come with me to be with my friends. And why did you have to embarrass me in front of them? You know, and Bianca saying, look, I just didn't want to do it. Y'all can still do it without me. I ain't got to be there. And I'm like, yeah, you're 100% right, honey. Like I said, I stayed out the bathroom when they was going in there doing it. But, you know, she's going on and on about you have to hang around me and my friends and then you want to ruin everything. And she was like, I didn't want to ruin anything. You know, y'all could do whatever y'all want to do in there. And so basically she starts to talk about she's sick of carrying her around. She's a weight around her neck and all this stuff. And so since she starts saying that, all of a sudden Bianca freaking buckles, not even 2 seconds. And it's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I said, really? That's all it took? And, you know, they basically, you know, she tells them it's on and they come out or whatever the case may be. And she also tells her, like, you know, take that down, all right, give her a shot and says, drink all of it. And she was like, listen, you never know. Bloody Mary might be a fairy godmother or something. And Bianca basically says, I don't remember nobody saying that, you know, she came out talking about bibbity, bibbity, boppity, boo, okay, and Cinderella's eyes. I said, I know that's right, okay, out of her head. And so I said, listen, I never heard about Bloody Mary being no fairy godmother either, honey. The only thing that I've ever heard about Bloody Mary is that Joe behind was going to be bloody and dead when she was finished, hence the bloody. So I don't know where they getting all this wish granting and different stuff from. And so now they talking about, you know, we want to have our own mirrors. We're going to be in the other room. Everybody is taking different separate rooms. And they was like, I don't need nobody eavesdropping. So now instead of them all being in one room and doing it together, we going our separate ways. So already I'm saying, okay, somebody gonna die. One of them gonna die out this bunch, right? But that is not the way it went. Basically, we see each person go into this different room. They're yelling across to each other, saying, turn off the lights. They each light a candle. They each start saying it. And, you know, as they finish and they get to that third one, each one of their candles goes out. Ooh, right? And so they looking in the mirror, whatever the case may be, and they start to see some cracking. You know, they're hearing some noise, and lo and behold, you know, you have Miss Dominique Jackson, okay, showing up in that daggone mirror and talking about, you know, well, we don't hear what she's talking about actually, right? She essentially is coming through the mirror, you know, smiling, all right, giving them the eyes. And we seeing that, you know, Bianca covers her eyes and starts to say, you know, I am sorry. And we're hearing Bloody Mary say, you know, if you obey me and do what I want you to do, you shall have your wish. All right. And so when she grabs each one of their faces, you know, we don't get to hear everything that she is actually saying to them. You just see her whispering in, like, I think Bianca was the first one you seen, you know, her whispering in her ear. And they all starting to run out and get scared. And then when they run in the room where Elise is, they all can see her coming through the mirror at Elise or whatever, right? And see her eyes getting scratched out and they're all screaming. And she turns on the light like, what? What happened? What happened? And then, you know, like I said, they scared now. Okay, now it's not a game no more. And now they regretting that they daggone called anything. And they saying, you know, Elise actually stops Bianca and was like, wait, it's okay. And she was like, nah, it's not okay. She was like, we just saw Bloody Mary trying to kill Maggie. How the hell could that possibly be okay? She was like, no, I'm fine. She was like, we all saw it. We heard you scream. She was like, well, I didn't scream. She was like, but we saw her in the mirror, didn't you? They were saying each one of them saw it. And so at this point, Maggie is like, look, it can't be real. She was like, but Bloody Mary spoke to me. I didn't imagine it. So they like, well, what did she say? Tell me. So Elise started to say, she knew that I wanted to go to Yale. She said that if I accuse my guidance counselor of molesting and raping me or whatever, then he'll get fired. And she could get this full ride to Yale, I should say, right? And I think it was Maggie that said she told me to drop Anna from the top of the pyramid, right? No, that was Lena. I'm sorry. I'm still getting to know these people's names. That was Lena. They told her, to drop Anna from the top of the pyramid and she'll be paralyzed. Okay. But then she would basically become, chair captain. And they tell, Maggie, if she want to be with River, then she would have to go ahead and steal his girlfriend's news and put them on the internet. She'll be humiliated and he would end up being hers forever. And so, Miss Elise is the last one. And she talking about, Bloody Mary told her if she wanted to be rich, she told her that if she could have all the money that she wanted to or whatever the case may be, right? That she would have to hurt. And then she says, you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm not doing it anyway. And Elise was like, well, listen, this is real, And then they, freaking Maggie was like, maybe she just trying to scare her or whatever, scare them and warn them. And they said, well, I've been warned. And then, Lena starts talking about, well, look, maybe one of the mirrors was just like a hallucination. It's like, girl, it's going to be a hallucination that all of y'all going to get in separate rooms. I don't think so. What a coincidence that would be. And they was like, it could be the lighting and strange faces and, apparitions and all of this. And one of them was like the same way and the same day in different spots. And, Bianca's basically like, Bloody Mary is coming for us. We all saw it, and then they like, we think we saw it. Of course, they trying to pretend like nothing ever happened, right? And then, Elise is saying, let's just go home. So now when Elise and Bianca go home, apparently Mama was trying to get it in. This is Mama gotta have a life 2 times 1,000, honey. They come walking in the door and the guy talking about, oh, I thought you said that they wasn't gonna be here. She was like, that's what I thought. She like, well, what the hell are y'all doing here? And they was like, something happened. And she was like, well, then did the house burn down? Because if it didn't burn down, then you need to get up out of here. So they said, well, you know what? We gonna just go head back to our bedroom or whatever. She said, no, the hell you ain't. I deserve a night to myself, okay? Y'all almost grown anyway, so y'all could get the hell up out of my house right now. They basically end up having to go and sleep in the car. I said, what in the heck ghetto is this? What is going on? So, they in the car. And Bianca's basically venting to Elise saying, I got this dream to go to Yale. How the heck is that supposed to happen? She was like, what the hardest part is? That I really want to go to the Yale. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I want to get there, but I don't want to get there by having to do what, Bloody Mary is telling me to do. And so basically, Elise is saying to her, yo, get into Yale because you're smart enough to do it on your own. And she was like, girl, how many smart people do you know that don't get in there every single year, And so she was like, it's thousands of people who want to learn and want to make a difference or whatever, but they never get the chance. And Elise basically was like, look, you gonna be okay. That's not gonna be your story. You know what I mean? That's not gonna be, what happens to you. And basically, Bianca's still going on saying how she don't want to disappear. And, she's basically scared. And so, Elise is still telling her that's not gonna happen. Okay, not to you. And she was like, now go to sleep. And so that next morning, when they go ahead and go over to the school, and they come into class, the teacher's saying, okay, well, we're not going to be talking about, black math anymore, whatever the case may be, right? We are now switching over to going into, what did she say? I think it was, reflections and retraction, right? And so they start to say like, oh, well, isn't it a part of the lighting and, with in people's minds and different stuff like that, right? Because she was saying how they was going to spend the rest of the quarter on this. And she said, well, everything we see is a reflection because of the light, and it enables us to see everything around us. And then, here go Lena talking about reflections aren't real though. And she said, girl, they as real as you and me, maybe more so, okay? She said, the ancient Mayans or whatever, or the other indigenous cultures believed that reflections on waters and in mirrors were the portals to other worlds and gateways between humans and gods. And so, at this point, Elisa's like, wait, so mirrors can be doors to other worlds? And, the teacher's basically saying, well, the Mayans did not have mirrors, but they did have silver, which was the most reflective metal, right? And they basically, believed that was possible. But she flips over the board and there's a mirror behind the board now, and it's, she's saying, but all due respect to them, but reflection is just the change of direction of light waves when they bounce off a barrier and they obey, the physical laws. And so now she's saying there's 3 laws, but as she's talking, the mirrors now turn to the class. And so the 4 girls, of course, Bianca, Elise, Lena, and Maggie are all seeing the Kraken at the same time. They all like, oh God, shit, looking around or whatever. And you hearing Bloody Mary say to them, you all made a pact with me, okay? And fulfilled them. And so here go, Miss Bianca covering her mouth, yelling, running out the classroom, and they all basically run behind her, and the teacher like, what the hell going on, looking around or whatever, right? And so they go outside by this field and they all talking with each other. They like, my God, she's real, she's really real, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's not gonna let us get away. And she was like, I can't do this or whatever. And one of the other ones come up and say, you supposed to be in class. And then they was like, no, I text her, she needs to be a part of it. She needs to know that we all basically saw her and we got to just do what the hell she says. And so, Lena is saying to Maggie, like, are you seriously even considering this? And she's like, look, Anna might end up being in a wheelchair, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, honey, I'd rather her in a wheelchair than I'll be dead, okay? And so they like, look, nobody's not gonna die, calm down, wait, we ain't saying nothing about nobody dying. And so Maggie starts to tell a story, honey, about when her mom was in high school, and a bunch of these people that went to the slumber party, and she was so mad because she wasn't invited. It devastated her back then, and every person that was there ended up dead one by one. Either they died or they ended up in the psych ward. So they like, oh great, now you tell, because she was like, rumor has it was about, Bloody Mary that did this. So they was like, wait, so you knew this happened and you didn't mention no part of that before you had us do it? And I said, well, girl, when y'all was in the bathroom, I'm pretty sure I heard one of y'all say, either she would grant our wish or kill us. What y'all thought? You ain't gonna just be getting wishes granted without it being some type of repercussions behind it or some other consequences. So she's telling them, like, I just thought it was a daggone ghost story. And they like, no, but you said she was granting wishes. So you didn't mention that whole part about anybody dying or going nuts. And now they want to point the finger. You forced me, you made me, you told me this, you told me that. You have what the heck is her name? Bianca saying, if I say that my counselor raped me, that'll ruin his life. I don't want to just do something like that to him, but at the same time, I don't want to die. And her sister's basically saying to her, like, stop talking about dying. There's nobody that's going to be dying, okay? She's saying that she's going to figure this out, and there has to be a way to get her to, leave them alone. And she was like, I'll always figure it out, all right? And she's basically giving her a hug, right? So now she's supposed to be going on this journey to find out, how she could get rid of, Bloody Mary or make this stop. So now at this point, Bianca has basically went to see the counselor. He's reading, her paper, and he's telling her, look, they need to feel the desperation in your situation, right? You got to make their hearts bleed, okay, and pull their heartstrings and make them feel like they need to give you a chance. Everybody else that's getting in is getting in because, they have that privilege, right? Or whatever different things. But in your case, there's only but so many that they let in that is not of that privilege. And she's saying she's not writing desperate because she's not desperate. Her situation is hard, but her and her sister always find a way to handle it. And he's like, look, I hear where you coming from and I see what you're trying to do here. But he was like, yo, it's for prep schools, kids, it's for legacies and all of that kind of stuff. He was like, every once in a while they throw a bone to the less fortunate. And if you get in, trust me, it's not going to be with this story that you writing here. You got to lean into your advantage, okay? Which I was looking at him with, the corner of my eyes when he said that. And he said, I wish I have the advantage when I apply. And she was like, so first I was supposed to be desperate and now I have to be advantaged. I felt her on that part. She was like, I get straight A's. I bust my behind. I do what I have to do. I'm in the robotics club. I'm elected junior class president. You know what I'm saying? I've been a sophomore even before it was over. So he said, listen, Bianca, again, I'm on your side. I'm trying to help you. All right. And so when she basically, because he had his hand on hers and she pulled it away. And when she look in the mirror, she's basically seeing him dying, and it's he's literally hanging there to be exact. And so then she leaves out of there. He asking her if she okay. She says, yeah. She got to go. She gonna write the paper over. So we see, her sister in the library, all of a sudden she's doing this research on Bloody Mary, and she comes across Margaret Worth, right? A slave catcher and bloody murderer, right? And so Bloody Mary is linked into this story some kind of way, and she's seeing about, this wolf cabin that is a cursed place. And so I'm like, girl, okay, we really looking up this story and we really supposed to find a way to kill her. I'm just not buying it. And so we have, Bianca by the locker, and she sees River and she's like, oh, hey, Lake, I mean River. And he's like, oh, very funny. So then she says to him, I think I made a mistake when we broke up. But before she could finish, his new girlfriend come over, right? The one that Bloody Mary was telling her to leak these nudes on. And they kissing or whatever the case may be. And then she sees the girl basically in the mirror and with her getting killed, and it makes her scream. And so they like, are you okay? And looking at her bugged out, and she's like, yeah, whatever, right? And so they go ahead about their business. We then have them all sitting around and talking again, and they're like, look, we cannot be waiting on your sister. What makes you think that your sister's going to figure everything out? And she was like, I don't know. I just trust her. She always go hard. She's always been taking care of me, even when she was a kid herself and she did not have it, She was like, she pays the rent every month. She stays in school. She makes sure we eat and all this other stuff. So I know she could do this. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Y'all live with y'all mama. The mama's sitting here throwing y'all out talking about mama gotta have a life too and get her groove on tour, right? And making y'all sleep in the car. But in the meantime, your sister is working, paying the bills, paying the rent, and buying the food. So why is mama even there? Y'all should have been kicking her out, okay? At this point, y'all might as well go ahead and have your own apartment. But I guess, she is too old to have her own place. But I was like, that's quite interesting. And they are over it. They like, look, we have to do what Bloody Mary says. All right, we don't want to die. We have to be, putting a stop to this. I'm not ready to die. Not today. So at this point, Maggie is saying that when she go in there, she don't give a damn if she gotta, toss Anna behind up in the air and let her crack her neck. That's what she'll do if it means her walking away. And so I'm sorry, I think that was Lena. I told y'all to bear with me. I'm kind of getting these names confused. But nonetheless, Miss Bianca runs to her sister Elise and was like, listen, we got to hurry up because she about to do something to Anna. We got to go now. So then when she get in the gym and they start this, little drill that they about to do, they start and basically Elise just yells out like, Lena, girl, you got this or whatever. And she go ahead and she's doing it. And you could tell she was a little tempted to go ahead and let her break her neck. But she didn't. All right. She called her in the last second. But now the girl is like, yo, what the hell? And she basically was like, I can't do this, and went running out the gym. Okay. I thought for sure one of these people was actually going to end up killing somebody because I'm sorry. I would have been a little skeptical about waiting around on damn, Miss Elise to figure it out too. I ain't even gonna lie. And so, then when they get home, Elise and Bianca, she's covering all of the windows with sheets, and she's telling her, listen, I still gotta go to work. She's like, girl, don't leave me here by myself. She's like, you here with mama. I said, girl, you really counting your mother? Don't seem like she's been doing much, okay? But she tells her, I have to go to work. If I don't work, we don't eat. So I'm gonna go ahead to work. I'll be back later. You just go ahead and go to bed. And so, of course, we got the, mirrors covered up, and Bianca go ahead and lay down to go to sleep. And the next thing of course, some kind of way, Bloody Mary make the damn sheet fall down off the damn mirror. And she's still saying to her, like, girl, I'm getting impatient, okay? I've been waiting for you to come on through and do what I said for you to do. You are taking forever, and you basically have, until midnight tomorrow night to get what I want done. All right, enough with the games, okay? And so, at this point, when her sister comes back home from work, she's just sitting out on the porch or whatever, the stairs, crying, and she's like, oh my God, what happened? Why are you out here? You shaking or whatever, you shivering, you look like you're cold. And she's like, why is she outside? Why you outside? And she's like, girl, she came in the mirror, she told me I have until tomorrow night, midnight, to give her, do the damn task that she gave me. And so basically, as they are sitting outside, you have Lena come running up, and she's like, girl, Maggie is dead. They like, what? She was like, she's dead. Her mother found her there. She was yelling and screaming, and she was like, she was in the tub. And she said, well, how do you know it was Bloody Mary? It could have been anything. She like, girl, her eyes was clawed out, all right? It had to be Bloody Mary. So she said, that's it. I'm not playing no games no more. I am going to freaking, you know what I'm saying? Kill whoever I got to kill, put out whatever I got to put out, because I'm not going down, all right? And I'm like, I feel you, sis. And so, you have Bianca go and find out, not Bianca, I'm sorry, y'all. We have Elise, right? She goes to like this museum that has information on, Margaret Worth there, right? And she wants to learn more about her. And we start to learn that apparently she did a reverse Underground Railroad, all right? It was a lot of history in that cabin. And basically, she was one of those people that wanted to have enslaved people come into her house or whatever, right? And have them think that they were safe and welcome them in, give them a hot meal and all of this kind of stuff. And, he says a lot of people thought she was a witch. He says she was more of a bitch than a witch. Okay, no one really knows how she got the people to trust them, but she figured that she had to have had help, right? Whereas she used another black person, of course, to make them, immediately trust and feel like it was a safe haven. And that person would come out, tell all of them it was okay, it's safe, they could come out now, and they would bring them in. And so initially she takes them downstairs to this like basement or whatever, and was telling them, y'all stay down here just in case like the slave catchers or somebody come through, so that they wouldn't see them or whatever, right? And I'm assuming that they would be back later and bring them water, food, whatever have you. And we're seeing that who we now see as Bloody Mary was actually one of the people that was there with her son, and she basically was a slave. And like I said, they're telling them that it's safer to sleep down there. And so after a while, the little boy is saying, I'm thirsty. And when the lady gets up and she's knocking, Mrs. Worth, Mrs. Worth, Mrs. Worth. Nobody's there. The damn door's locked. And they was like, well, what if she don't come back? We'll starve to death or whatever, right? And so the guy at the museum is explaining to her, like, people thought that it was something supernatural going on there or whatever, right? But he was like, in all actuality, it was just pure evil, all right? And inhumane, how she would capture them. And he was like, one day she just so happened to capture the wrong one, and her body was found there violently stabbed, and the killer was never found. And he said, he showed her this blade, and he was like, we believe that this was the blade that was basically used to kill her. And so, it's a type of dagger, whatever the case may be, from the 19th century Missouri, or, more African Caribbean origin or whatever, right? And so she's looking at it, and she's seeing where he puts the knife back at, and then she's seeing where he put the keys. So I said, okay, girl, I already see where this is going. Some kind of way you going to try to, break back in there and get to where the keys and the knife, get the keys and get the knife out or whatever, right? So she's busy on this mission, but it's like in the meantime, you got Lena and Miss Bianca talking, and she's ready to put these pictures out now. She like, girl, look, I'm sorry to have to destroy somebody's life, but if it's between destroying their life, it's either her or me. I'm gonna go ahead with this. And not only do she end up getting in and being able to see the pictures, and then she gonna talk about, well, she got a pretty body anyway, her body's insane. So in other words, she has nothing to be ashamed of as far as the pictures get leaked. She also comes across a sex tape, and apparently the sex tape is not with River. So she's like, whoa, this is a sex tape. She was like, wow, this was taped last week. She said, if I put this out, then this could really do something, because she brought this on herself or whatever, and River deserves so much better. And Bianca's saying to her, like, really, you would be okay with this? She's like, who are you right now? Like, what if you do this and you put this out and this makes her kill herself or something like that? You would be okay with that? Is that something that you would do? And, how could you ever even be happy with River if something like that happens? And so now she get up and she walk away with an attitude. And I'm like, I hear what you saying, girl. But Miss Lena's telling her, or rather Maggie, she's telling her, like, listen, I don't even care no more at this point. She was like, I don't want to end up like Lena, okay? Lena is dead, and I ain't trying to be dead like her too. So I understood where she was coming from, okay? This is a young girl. They scared, whatever have you. I ain't saying it's right, but I'm saying if it came down some choices between me and you getting chopped the hell up and dying, I might want to choose some other things too. But she doesn't do it, and so again, we still got, Bianca on this damn, scavenger hunt. Not Bianca. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really confusing the hell out these people names. We still have Miss Elise on this scavenger hunt, right? Gathering all the info. At this point, she got different articles and stuff like that up on the wall. And so, her mother's coming talking about what you still doing here? And she's saying to the mother, you just getting out of bed. And the mother's like, all right, don't turn your nose up at me. And she asked her, like, do you wish you never had us? And the mother says, never waste time wishing. And she go walking off. I said, okay. And so, at this point, she told her sister to come back with her to the museum, keep the guy busy so that she could go ahead and, like I thought she would, steal the knife. She acts like she's interested in this Native American thing or whatever. And then, they're knocking and calling Miss Maggie, and they're not getting no answer either way. And so they go around to the back and they come in, and poor Maggie, okay, maybe you should have sent them pictures out, girl, or that tape, because they found her in the bed with her damn, eyes all freaking cut the hell out, okay? They yelling and screaming and crying, and she's saying, we need to call the police. And, the sister's like, nah, come on, we just gotta go, we gotta end this. And she says, well, how do you know it's gonna work? They dropped to where this cabin is, they saying is the source of her power, and they're like, this is what we have to do, there's no other choice. And we gotta at least try, either it's gonna work or it's not gonna work. And they go ahead and they walk there. She got all these supposed tools that she need or whatever. And so the next thing when they get there, she's basically saying that we finally hear what Bloody Mary said to her, right? Because Bloody Mary looks at her and was like, you got everything that I told you to bring? She's like, yes, I do. And her sister looking at her like, Elise, what the hell are you talking about? What do you have? And so come to find out, Bloody Mary said to her, you think you want to be rich, but money is fickle. I could give you so much more than that. It comes and it goes, okay? What you really want is power. And all I need you to do is bring me a few simple things. And if you bring me this is going to release me. And then I could give you all that power that you want. And so what she needed was a dagger, okay, and 3 innocents. And so freaking Bianca is like, Elise, are you serious right now? And she starts to thinking, and she like, wait a minute, what have you done, girl? What have you done? All right. And she talking about something, I didn't want to do it, Bianca, but I didn't have a choice. And she was like, oh no, you had the choice. She was like, Bloody Mary didn't kill Lena, all right, and Maggie, you did, okay? And so, and I guess now it's supposed to be me. And so we get these flashbacks and we see that, listen, honey, Elise was the one. She was coming. Shh, shh, okay, cutting them down like it was nothing, all right, talking about I had to kill 3 innocents. And she was like, girl, that was your friends, Lena and Maggie, she, and then she got the nerve to say, you have to understand. No, girl, I don't have to understand, okay? And so she was like, so you brought me here to kill me and for money? And she was like, oh, it's not about money. She was like, what is it about, honey? So she started chasing her, she go running. She hides some kind of way. She finds her anyway, knocks her out. She down on the ground and she wakes back up again. And baby, she tried to come at her and stab her, honey. Like I said, she said she got to do what she got to do. She's going to give her this power. She already got 2 jars of blood there. She need the 3rd one. She got the dagger, whatever. She talking about she'll be so powerful. She could have everything. She tired of paying this rent. She tired of taking care of everything. I said, girl, I understand you tired of taking care of everything. But really, I said, if that's the case, then you could have killed any random 3 innocent damn people from out the school. Why did it have to be your friends and your sister? I am confused, okay? No wonder you were so busy stopping them every minute and talking about you want to go and do their research and all of that. That just was not adding up to me, okay? Something about it was not right. It was just bothering my damn spirit. And now we are coming all together and finding out why that is. And so, she talking about something she will be safe forever. So when she went to stab her and say, I'm so sorry, you're the last one, baby Miss, Bianca got some super strength, flipped her behind over and cut Miss, Elise up in that damn eye and took her out. So, Bloody Mary was like, woo, child, okay, looks like you are the last man standing or whatever, right? And so, she basically says Bloody Mary does not kill. I simply reflect the truth. It was never her that was killing all the people. She pushes the people to face what is truly in their souls. Okay. And they make the decisions to do what they want to do. She was like, you chose not to kill your sister, whatever, even with desperation or whatever the case may be, you stayed true. You are really innocent, but your sister let desperation turn her into a killer, all right? And so she was like, telling her she tells Bloody Mary, okay, but that was not just her. You put those thoughts in her head. You are not innocent here. And she was like, girl, I haven't been innocent for more than a century and a half, okay? Like, I don't give a damn about that. I didn't claim to be. You know what I'm saying? When I was mortal, I did kill once. And so, of course, we go back into time and we see where she was stuck in that damn basement with that wretched ass woman. Okay, she was asking the black, lady that was working there that of course told them that it was safe and brought them in there. How the hell can you work and help that wretched woman or whatever, And the girl is telling her that her people left her years ago, even her mama, okay? They up and left and disappeared and she's been there ever since and they went north without her. And she was like, she's been taking care of me. She said, you stupid child, have you seen that Worth don't be letting anyone go? More than likely, she probably took your damn family or whatever the case may be. And I bet your real mama loves you, would do anything for you. She said, well, if you help me and my boy to get out of this daggone place, we could be your family. But before she could even answer, here come Miss Worth talking about the slave catchers is here. They come pulling her out. She yelling, excuse me, screaming and crying. And she said she looked in the mirror and seen her her face for the first time in years. And at that moment, she was so pissed. She went into a rage or whatever. And she called on, I think she said, Mamita. She did like these 3 big stomps, okay, on the ground. And then everybody was shaking and tumbling, baby. She took that gun and knocked the lady down. She went like this. And the guy's neck was like crack, 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 crack. And she was like, she was taking justice, okay, and seeking vengeance. And rage went over her. She started stabbing the mess out of the lady. And so when the black girl ran up behind her and was like, stop, she turned around and stabbed her in the eye in the midst of just being in a rage and trying to go after Miss Worth. And she said that child was living in deception and lies, okay? And she, she said, I should have given her truth and empathy, but instead I gave her the same, passion and violence that I was giving to everybody else, and I killed her. I sullied my soul before the goddess. And so apparently she then, could not bring that poison to me, her ancestors, and she created a place to put her where she can find her truth. And that is how she basically ended up going into the mirror and becoming Bloody Mary as we know her today, okay? And so, here go damn Bianca talking about I killed my sister, and Bloody Mary tells her you did what you had to survive, but I could see you have a pure heart, right? And so she says, I have nothing. I have nothing. Nothing. Okay. She was like, Lena and Maggie is dead. You know what I'm saying? And now, Elise is dead too. All right. They're all dead. And so she get up and was like, I'm here and I'm still alone or whatever. And she says, Bloody Mary tells her, we're similar places, you and I. We parted from the ones that we love, right? And Bianca says things can't end like this, right? It finally has to be an end to the suffering. And so she get up. And I don't know how the hell this was supposed to be the end of suffering, y'all. But she cuts her damn hand. She puts her blood in with the other blood. She go ahead and passed it to Bloody Mary, right? Really thinking that, I guess, if she freed her, this was going to just be end and everything. Roses were going to come out the ground. Maybe her friends was going to come back to life. I don't know what she was thinking. But honey, Bloody Mary said, oh, okay, you set me free. Thanks, boo. And she came out of there. And when she came out, all of a sudden, Miss Bianca was trapped inside. She was talking about something. What's happening? What is this? What's going on? She told her, now you are going to be Bloody Mary, okay? It's not all bad. There's some good in finding truth, okay? And she went walking off to have her happy-go-lucky life. And Miss Bianca is now the new Bloody Mary. She's hearing the other people, on the outside sound like it was some grown men, kids, a mixture of everybody calling out Bloody Mary all at the same time. And then we see this little girl seeing it in the mirror, and we see it, see her come to the little girl and be like, so that was basically the end of the episode, y'all. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, for me, I just feel like certain parts of this be good. I'll be here for certain parts. Certain parts have me intrigued. There's even times like when they did the urban legend, I was like, okay, this could have probably been a whole season where we could have went into things in a little bit more depth. We started out okay with the dollhouse, and we tied that into the, original American Horror Story. The one where Gabby said we had where the technology, the doorbell was able to see spirits, and we had spirits coming back to apologize. And then we had where we found out her damn husband was a psycho and trifling. Last week episode, it was a little bit gross and disgusting, but even with that, we was able to see like how some people believe in science more, some people believe in religion more, some people just downright damn crazy, okay, and want to do whatever the hell they want to do that's going to benefit them, right? And the episode before that, we actually also, saw that this chick was out of her damn mind and crazy. And I was going with that until they got with the end. And then I was like, girl, your reasoning for killing is just not making sense. The math is not mathing. And this one, I felt the same way. There were certain aspects where I was like, okay, we getting Bloody Mary. Okay, we got a beautiful black Bloody Mary. And we got the little black girls. All right, let's see what's happening here. But then I was like, okay, now one of them out the bunch will actually lose it and not want to wait for the friend and end up killing at least one person. Now one person would have died when the Bloody Mary initially first came. I know that that's probably like little nitpicks. It wasn't nothing big, but it just makes me feel like when you cook that meal and you put it out and you be like, that's good, but I feel like it's some salt that's missing. It's some pepper that's missing. I need to know what is the ingredient that I'm missing here. That is what American Stories be giving me sometimes. I'll be like, you was almost there, but not quite. It was not all the way there the way I needed it to be, if that makes sense. But y'all go ahead, put it in the comments. Tell me what y'all thought about this episode or what y'all are thinking about this series so far. Put it in the comments. Let's all discuss. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you are so inclined, okay? Till next time, toodaloo.